Inflation is down sharply, and how? That's due to hard decisions and fiscal discipline, says Chancellor Jeremy Hunt. Those hard decisions including 14 successive interest rate rises from the Bank of England, and those fiscal disciplines meaning no tax cuts and lower government spending. Here are the numbers. In October 2023, prices, according to the Consumer Price Index, were 4.6% higher than in October 2022. That's sharply down from 6.7% inflation in September and the peak of 11.1% this time last year in October 2022. Rishi Sunak's fulfilled his pledge of halving inflation from 10.1% in January by the end of the year. But by international standards, UK inflation is still pretty chunky. There's our 4.6% number. Compare that to the Eurozone on the continent, 2.9% inflation for October there. And the US inflation number, which came out yesterday, 3.2%. So we are still a bit of an outlier when it comes to price pressures. And those price pressures are felt most keenly in food price inflation. Food price inflation is still 10.1% if we can change the slide. That's down from 12.1% in September, but that's still very, very high. And in fact, the Office for National Statistics, in the fine print of its press release at 7 o'clock this morning, disclosed that food prices on average are up 30% since October 2021. Pretty eye-watering, a 30% increase in food prices over just 2 years. Electricity and gas prices, they are down quite sharply though. 31% household gas prices down since October last year. Electricity costs down almost 16% since October last year. That's where a lot of this decrease in inflation in October is coming from. Also, fuel prices, when you're filling up your car or your van. Petrol was £1.55.1 in October. That's down from 163.6 in October 2022, and diesel was similarly down. In sum, motor fuel prices down 7.6% in October compared to October last year. So what is the Bank of England now going to do? The next meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee, that's the middle of December, just before Christmas, Thursday the 14th. Interest rates have been held at 5.25% since August. Mortgage rates are now coming down, dipping below 5% for 2-year fixes. That's a bit of a benchmark. And I would say now there will be no more interest rate rises unless something weird happens. And what could happen that is weird? Geopolitics, that's what could happen. There could be a spike in oil prices this winter if the OPEC oil exporters cartel wants to make life difficult for oil importers like the UK. There could be a sharp rise in gas prices, linked again not only to Middle East violence but also to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. But the base scenario is that inflation's down and it's going to carry on coming down and there'll be no more interest rate rises. While it's welcome news that prices are no longer rising as quickly, we know many people are continuing to struggle, said Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in response to these numbers. Will people feel better off at the time of the general election because of this lower inflation? The Tories certainly hope so.